Welcome to Let's Talk About Leadership, Service, and Sisterhood.
A podcast sponsored by California Rainbow.
Founded in 1922, Rainbow is a premier service organization for young girls ages 8 to 21. In California, we have approximately 60 assemblies.
These young leaders learn the importance of serving others and gaining lifelong sisterhoods. Learn more at go.ca-rainbow.org.
Welcome back to episode 6 of Let's Talk Leadership, Service, and Sisterhood, a podcast sponsored by California IORG. Today's subject, life balance. How do we find it? My guests today are Cassie Ray and Emalee. They are two of our grand officers here for California Rainbow, and they're going to give us a little idea of how they find some balance in their lives. So ladies, when we talk about life balance, it has a lot to do with how we kind of schedule ourselves and stuff. I mean, where did the two of you find issues in trying to find that balance?
Getting up at a time that's like good to be able to like do stuff throughout the day, that can be a bit of a struggle.
Emalee, what about you?
I struggle a lot with trying to be an adult, for one. So like it's a little hard for me to do basic things. But when I have troubles doing all that, I just try to take a deep breath and like go to people that I know, and I try to get help with that.
Yeah, so both of you are just recently kind of out of like the high school thing and starting to deal with that transition from teenager into young adult. So I get the like not wanting to get up first thing in the morning because all of a sudden you don't necessarily have school at 8 o'clock. And then of course you have the problem with how do I act as a new adult, right? So what kind of things have you learned, Cassandra, specifically in how do you schedule yourself so you get up and you do what you need to do during the day?
When I have days where I don't necessarily have to do anything, I'd like put my alarm to get me up at like 9:30-ish so that I'm out of bed. But if I do have to do something, then I'll put my alarm for a time to make it so that I can like get up, get ready for the day. And usually that's around like 6-ish because it takes me a while to get ready.
So you find yourself getting up and trying to get that routine going, depending on what you have going on that day. Okay. And Emalee, so what kind of situations have you found yourself in where you're trying to make that transition from teenage girl to adult?
So I just got my first job, and I'm an art teacher for my childhood elementary school. So I'm just starting to like go through the process of having to wake up early again and going to work and trying to find out what I can do like between then and still try to like manage my time correctly.
Oh, well, and both of you have the unique opportunity of representing California Rainbow as state officers this year. And I know that requires a lot of your time, like on weekends and evenings when you're traveling. So what kind of things do you find yourselves having to do when you're getting ready for things? I know, Emalee, you just came back from a meeting tonight. That's why you have your hair up and everything. So what kind of challenges have you run across now that you have a new job trying to do all this travel and representing Rainbow?
So for normal meetings, they usually happen as soon as I get off of work. So I find myself scrambling a lot, just trying to rush everything. And it's a little hard, but I do it because I love this. And it's just great for me because I need to like have that stability where I'm doing something and not just sitting around, because that's when I start to get in like kind of a funk. And it's really hard for me to do anything when I'm like that.
I understand that. And Cassandra, you've done a lot of like out of state travel representing California Rainbow this year. And what's it like when you're, a young adult getting on a plane for the first time? Because I understand you got your first airline flight this year.
Oh, that was eventful for me. It's a little stressful, and you get a lot of burnout from like having like almost a week where you're just not where you live, and you're like somewhere it's super hot, and then you come back home and you're just like, I don't really want to do anything, but you kind of have to because, well, my family's going to be hosting Christmas, so we have to clean the house, and that means I have to get up in the morning so that I can contribute to the chaos.
I see. Well, I saw Emily nodding a lot there when you were talking about burnout. How do the two of you combat burnout when you find yourself just kind of overwhelmed with everything that's going on?
I like to take a moment and like sit myself down somewhere and kind of just center myself, sit
Okay.
and like think about what's going to be happening in the future, and then just think about the time that I'll have free and try and enjoy my free time as much as I can.
All right. Emily, what about you?
So, yeah, kind of like a self-reflection moment, or I talk to my mom because my mom is my biggest supporter. So I go to her when I'm feeling that way, and she always gets me out of that.
Always good to have somebody to talk to. So once you found that center point that you've kind of taken that moment and refreshed yourself, what motivates you to get back into doing everything that you have to get done? Is there something specific that that you find yourself drawn to as a motivation?
I think the fact that the thing that's burning me out is the thing that I'm like so absorbed in, and like I'm grounding myself to work towards, because I love Rainbow and I don't want to stop going to things just because I'm a little tired of it at that time. So I think about it and think about like what I've done in the past and what I plan to do in the future for it. And I kind of just re-fall in love with it, I guess.
Okay. Emily, what about you?
I mean, Cassie Ray said it completely how I would have said it. When I traveled to Kansas for their convention, and I was really burnt out like that whole time. But I would think to myself, I'm doing this for a reason, and I'm doing this because I love it. And why would I give up on something that I love just because I'm a little tired of it? So it's like exactly what Cassie was saying.
I feel like it would be similar to you just started a job at your dream job, and now you're like super exhausted from it. Now you have to like reflect on the fact that this is your dream job and you actually love it. You're just a little tired right at that time.
So I think I probably already know the answer to this question, but I'm going to ask it anyway. What's your biggest piece of advice to someone when they're kind of feeling like their life's out of balance?
Take a moment to reflect on your past, your present, and what you plan to be your future.
Okay. Emily, you have anything to add to that?
No, I think she said it perfectly. I don't know what else to say besides that.
Sounds good. Sounds like both of you feel like you really need to find something that you love and make sure you're aware of why you're doing it. Did I sum that up about correctly? Boy, that was great. Did I sum that up well?
Yeah.
Ladies, I know this has kind of been one of our shorter podcasts, but I appreciate both of you coming on tonight and talking to us a little bit about life balance and what you do to combat that burnout that we can all get and how you help focus yourselves. These two young ladies are representatives from California Rainbow. They are some of our state officers this year. And they have done an amazing job so far. And I appreciate them coming on to our episode of Let's Talk About Leadership, Service, and Sisterhood. And stay tuned for our next episode.